Like most furniture projects, this one started off with a whole lot of milling. Once we got all of our pieces milled and dimensioned to the right size, we were able to start some joinery on the panda router. We really like the look of this small radius mortise and tenon, so that's what we used on this project. These templates have a step in the mortise slot, so you use the inner section first to hog out most of the material, then move your guide bearing to the outer step for the finishing pass. We use a 1/4 inch bit for mortising, so we get an 1/8 inch radius at the corners. Using the air clamps, we can move very quickly from piece to piece, cutting exactly the same mortise at the same location in each leg for our plant stands. Once all of the mortises were cut, we moved on to the tenons. We set the centering scale fence and the swing stop so we could rapidly change from piece to piece, knowing that every one was going to be precisely the same. With the mortises and tenons cut, we used a jig to mark them for shaping on the bandsaw and later on the router table and shaper. Shaping the legs went quickly on the bandsaw, then John Henry used the shaper at his shop to smooth those cuts. This jig has two sides used for the outer profile of the legs on one side and the inners on the other side. John Henry uses a square to verify the hold-down clamps will not hit the cutter on the shaper or the bit on the router table. He then marks each piece for cutting the excess material on the bandsaw. The process is repeated, then a different jig is used to mark another piece that will rough cut and finish on the router table. And finally, after a whole lot of sanding, some of the pieces are ready for glue. Once out of the clamps, we like to make a little protection piece for cutting the tenons without damaging the mortise pieces. A small hand plane, a sharp chisel, and a card scraper make the end grain of the tenon flush, flat, and smooth. Then, after all the blade work is done, we can do some final sanding. It helps to pre-finish the next pieces because once they're glued and assembled, it'll be really difficult to get the finish into the opening. Painter's tape protects those areas where glue will be used in the final assembly. When we cut the tenons on these split pieces, we held them together with spring clamp and cut them as a single piece. We'd never done this before, but it worked really well, and once they're assembled, it's very difficult to see the split between the two pieces on the ends of the tenons. We used the same process to trim the ends of the tenons, then we moved on to a different version of the plant stand that does not fold. We're cutting half-lap joints where the stretchers intersect on the non-folding plant stands, and two of our large vertical Mortise and Tenon templates make good stops. This little setup jig got us started. Then if we need to make either side slightly wider, we can use the taper on the templates to cut a slightly wider path. We set our depth of cut using a 3/4 inch setup block, but we could easily have measured using the scale on the depth stop instead. As we thought, our slot is slightly too small, so we can adjust it by moving the guide bearing along the taper of the template. We adjusted twice until we got a perfect fit, and now it'll be exactly the same for all the rest of our cuts. These crossbars also get a tenon on each end, so we set up the centering scale fence and the swing stop so that we could cut them all exactly the same. Here we're using yet another jig to mark the decorative cut that we'll make of the crossbars. And now you'll see why one of the half-lap cuts was deeper than the other one. In order to always cut down the slope, we're using a pattern bit with both top and bottom bearings. First we cut all of the crossbars going one direction, then raise the bit to follow the other guide bearing. One more time at the router table, putting the final shape on these pieces, and then a whole lot more sanding and finishing for all 8 of the plant stands. Both the collapsible and the stackable versions are beautiful in Sapele, which is a tropical hardwood native to the rainforests of West Africa. By the way, it gets its name from the Nigerian city of Sapele. Thanks for following along with this project today. We hope you picked up a tip or trick or two, and be sure to check out some of our other videos. Happy panta routing!